everybody, and welcome to another edition.
Holy internet weird shows, Batman.
Okay, as usual, I'm your friendly neighborhood soda, joined by Ben Rayner, and as always, 50 Shades of Sidekick today. But today we have a very special guest. He is home alone for the weekend, living the bachelor life. This is Taco. How are you doing, my man?
I'm doing fantastic. You know what they say, when the wife's out of town, you do 4 podcasts in one day.
Yep. Welcome to a normal Saturday for me. So how's everybody doing on this weekend? And let's just say a happy belated birthday to none other than 50 Shades of Sidekick.
Nice.
Yeah. Yesterday was what, your 23rd birthday?
Yeah, just add 5.
I really wanted to pitch to you 50 Sidekicks of Geek, but I thought it worked better, but whatever. You're talking about your OCDs, soda. That's fine.
You're the guest.
There you go. All right. What are we doing, guys?
Let me introduce the premise. So, as I don't know if you can tell by Ben's background, by 50's domino mask, we're doing top 5 sidekicks today. And so sidekicks can be from anything from movies, TV shows, books, comic books, what have you. I know there's going to probably be a couple where they're going to be paired as one. I know for sure 50 and I are going to have one like that are each together. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but this is going to be an interesting list to see where everybody pulled their stuff from. Because I've got two TV shows, a comic book, and a movie.
Oh, man.
And can I just say that up until a few minutes ago, I thought we were doing just movies. So my list is going to need some reworking. However, most of mine have been in other media, so yeah, it still tracks.
This was your list, correct, Ben?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, what was that?
2 TV shows, 2 movies, and a 17th century novel. So
fucking A. Yeah. So this is going to be interesting. Yeah. What about you, Ben?
And mostly movies, some TV, and I can't wait to get into my list.
Yeah, me neither. This is really fun.
This is going to be fun. So let's just hop right into it, Ben.
I have a question first before we start. I was going to ask this off air, but since we're now live, then fuck it, we'll do it live. Since we have a guest this week, would you like the guest to tell us what his list is for next week?
It's been a while since we've had a guest. Yeah, let's have the guest started off the list. So Taco, what's your number 5?
Jeez, guys, it's making me feel all special. I'm going to take back all those hateful tweets I said about you guys right before we started. I actually don't even have a Twitter.
That's okay. We already canceled you on Twitter. That's okay.
Yeah.
If I had a Twitter, I wouldn't have a Twitter anymore. Let's just say that.
Nice.
I wouldn't have made it. All right, well,
taco stand.
So I just tell my number 5?
Yeah, you tell your number 5, and it's exactly like the top 10 show, where if it's higher up on one of our lists, one of us will say punt.
All right, well, I'd be really surprised if anyone's about to punt this ball, but I had to find me a Simpsons character, and I had to think about it, and my first thought was the blue-haired Milhouse, and I was like, you know what? He is not devoted. He is not a good sidekick. Waylon Smithers is my number 5 sidekick.
Yes!
He's devoted to Mr. Burns. Yeah.
Yes.
That was my number 5.
So what?
Smithers!
Well, besides being able to literally get anything accomplished, like the dude's like always firing on all cylinders. He's like one of the best assistants a man can have. But when you talk about being devoted, like this guy blows so many sidekicks out of the water. He's literally in love with Mr. Burns.
Yeah.
And not only that, but like literally he would do anything for him. And then but almost to a point. And then when Mr. Burns wants to like destroy the city, he still has his moral compass. He's in love. He's a not evil guy in love with an evil guy. I love it. I love him. It's such a cool dynamic for a sidekick and a not sidekick. Whatever.
Yeah, that's the thing about one of
the
these
main
lists.
kick.
He never even appeared in
Main
my brain.
kick. Yeah.
I forgot about him. About him.
I'd be surprised if you guys
Mr. Burns sometimes.
Well, it's one of those things. Like he's one of those characters that for me, anyways. When I do say Smithers, I don't immediately think, oh, he's a sidekick because he's such a central character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, 50?
Did anybody? I'm sure you probably have already seen it, but have you seen the episode where Mr. Burns gets shot, and there's like this mystery of trying to figure out who it is?
Yeah, who shot
like,
Mr. Burns?
All the clues are pointing towards Smithers, and it ends up not being Smithers. And there was this even deleted scene where actually it turns out it was Smithers. After all.
Yeah, they filmed the deleted scene. Well, they animated deleted scene for like 8 people to kill him. Yeah, that episode has one of my favorite sequences in all Simpsons when Wiggums has like a chocolate nap and he has like a vision quest and it's Lisa with like a playing card on fire and she's like, burning the suit, burns your chute, and he's like, I'm not following you. Burns your suit, and she's like, I'm not following you. It's like, check Burns' suit for DNA. Jeez, and he's like, oh. It's like this really crazy dream sequence.
It has one of my favorite reveals, to be sure. It's when they say, it could be any one of the Simpsons except for Mom. She's a Bouvier. Well, no, when I married your dad, I took on everything, including his DNA.
Oh, my God.
All right.
I like that Smithers does shoot somebody that day, so he thinks it's Mr. Burns, but it's just the dude with the wooden leg. There's still a bullet in it.
Here you go. All right, Ben. Who's your number 5?
My number 5 is somebody told you from a movie. It's me from Hook.
Oh!
Way my mom has
Not on my list, but yes, that's a great sidekick.
That is good. Bob Hopkins.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
He's ready to go to Wales to steal medical records for his boss to make him happy. And he is a great comedic character. I love this character ever since I saw him when I first saw her. He's a great character.
Yeah, he's a great psychic. Like he is when you think of the definition of a psychic. Definitely, Shmee is one of the
Shmee.
Yeah,
Shmee.
It's me. What about me? Wait a minute, it's me.
Yeah,
what about
me? I'm Shmee.
I do. I was wondering if it blurs the line between henchman and sidekick because I was thinking of like some classic.
You can say the same about Smithers.
I know. In fact, I was even gonna say I love that so far we're going for our 5 of the bad guys.
My 50s mom.
Right, and it's me spelled with 2 E's. Just saying.
That's 50s
Now,
mom.
if you spelled it like Skywalker, that would have been funny.
Because you said Shmee.
Is that how it's pronounced?
What's your number 5?
Mine?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on if you guys have seen the show Supernatural or not. Shut up. It's the character Charlie Bradbury, played by Felicia Day.
Ooh, nice.
Well, I like Felicia Day, so I'm interested.
So she's introduced in an episode where essentially she works for a tech company, and Sam and Dean come, and they basically have to save the day. She ends up kind of getting into their world, so she ends up working with them for a few episodes as a hunter, and then at one point she ends up getting brought over into the mystical land of Oz, and then she comes back out like as this badass like heroine. There's an episode where it's actually after she disappears for her first appearance. They find her at a LARP event, and it's actually my favorite episode of the series because you see Dean Winchester let out his full nerd and go LARPing and do a Braveheart speech right down to the half blue face. And then it's actually one of the moments that actually turned me off the show was when they killed off Charlie. I got so mad. Like, I understand why they did it. Like, it definitely makes sense. But I was so mad that we lost her that I stopped watching.
Spoilers. I'm not going to watch it now that I know that happens.
Yeah.
Like you were planning to watch it.
I was sold. I heard you had me at Felicia Day, and then you lost me at Death of Charlie.
And to be honest, out of all the guest characters that they have brought on who became a part of the world, I like her the most because with her and Dean, it feels like a brother-sister mentality right off the bat. She doesn't take his shit. It's just she fits in perfectly with Sam and Dean.
Nice.
Yeah. And of course, it's Felicia Day. Like, come on.
Oh yeah.
She's much better than Felicia Knight.
That is true. And speaking of which, 50, what's your number 5?
So, as I mentioned earlier, I originally thought we were just doing only movies. So originally, my number 5 was going to be
50's got props.
Always.
Oh!
Nice. See, that was my thing. I couldn't decide which robot.
But yeah, see, the thing is, he's not really a sidekick. He's just the guy that saves everybody.
Yeah.
He's a character.
He's in every episode. He's the main character. All right?
Yeah. I mean,
he's the only guy who's consistent.
He's basically the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, I hope I said it right, of the Star Wars universe. Him and 3PO. A New Hope is basically seen from their point of view. Yep. And even the beginning of Return of the Jedi. We're seeing them before we see all the other ones. So I decided to last minute change my answer to Captain Jack Harkness.
Ooh.
Oh, you beautiful bastard.
Thank you. Nice. I'm a bastard. Thank you.
Nice.
Doctor Who, Taco. You looked confused about that.
Okay, yeah. I was like, yeah, that guy. Whoa.
Yeah, Captain Jack. What's his name?
Yeah, he actually is one of the best characters to come out of modern Doctor Who, hands down.
I mean, once I learned my mistake of not of only going movie characters, now that I can change it, I had to put a Doctor Who character in it. Originally, I was considering Martha Jones, just because in my personal opinion, she's the best David Tennant companion. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's Captain Jack. I mean, the guy got his own show.
Yep.
That's how good of a sidekick he is.
Nice. So he was just one of the companions to the Doctor?
Yeah, so he came on for the couple seasons at the end of the first season of Modern Who. Then he disappeared again until season 3, during which time he'd already been given Torchwood. And then he comes back in at the end of that season for a massive crossover of all the shows that are involved in Doctor Who, which is, as 50 knows, one of the best episodes.
It was the Infinity War of Doctor Who before Infinity War was a thing.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
You said he's in the first season, so he's in the Eccleston season?
Yeah, he's in the Eccleston season.
Oh, wow, okay.
Last couple of episodes.
Oh, wow.
And then if Ray does not appear again to season 3?
Yeah, until the end where they introduce. Yeah. Spoiler alert: the Master is back, and then he shows up again in the Jodie Whittaker series.
That's right.
Wow.
In an episode with the Jadoon of all things.
Yeah, and one of the beauty things about this character is he loves everybody. Like he will shtup everybody, be it male, female, alien, goo. Like he will screw anything.
Anything with a hole. Yeah,
I like him.
Anything with a hole. Yes, he's 51% right. Pretty much anything with a hole.
He just made my honorable mentions. Yeah.
And they had this big episode of The Weakest Link where they had all Doctor Who actors on The Weakest Link, and Anne Robinson asks, first of all, played by John Barrowman, who you probably know from the Arrowverse as Malcolm Merlin, but she asks John Barrowman, so does Jack like men or women? And he's like, oh, he likes it. He likes the bit of both. Anything with a postcode.
Yeah. So you looked a little weird when we said the name John Barrowman there, Taco. So this is who John Barrowman is.
Just studying my face today, so I still don't know him.
Okay.
And that's Captain Jack. That's a picture of Captain Jack.
That's a picture of Captain
Jack.
No, he is like a really big part of the Arrowverse. That's for most of the time.
Okay. I watched The Flash, but if he was in any of those crossovers, then it's going over my head.
He was in some of them, yeah.
Yeah, I watched.
Everybody loves him.
Enough of The Flash. Yeah. So he's never mind.
He's a charming mofo. Who really is.
Yeah, and also, fun fact. A lot of people think he's American. He's actually Scottish.
Yeah.
Nice.
He was born in Scotland, and they moved to Kansas, I believe. And then he grew up reading. He grew up reading all about Superman and such. And so when he came on to Doctor Who, back to the other side of the pond, as Captain Jack, he always tries to dress up like Clark Kent with the lederhosen and everything. He said that much in an interview.
Yeah, the only time he'll speak with his original Scottish brogue is when he's with his family. That's why he said that in interviews. That's the only time he'll actually speak like he was born to. Right?
Hey.
Other than that, he's always speaking that English accent. Or the American accent, sorry.
American accent.
His time in early Arrow was so good. And season 1 and season 2, I don't want to get into later stuff, but he was so good in that early.
You're right. He was good in the first season, yeah.
Yeah.
Taco's got some research to do now.
Yeah, definitely.
Nah.
He was the main reason my mom kept wanting to watch that show.
Oh, yeah.
The more nerd stuff I put in, the nerd stuff I leave. If Let's Talk About Star Wars needs to stay in there. Like, I need my Star Wars knowledge now.
Should we get you an external hard drive then? Or
Yes.
It's a good thing you're up next, by the way.
Yeah.
What?
It's a good thing you're up next. What's number 4?
Yeah.
All right. Well, if somebody says punt, I will mail you $5. All right. if this is on anybody else's list,
Punt.
I put Sancho Panza from Don Quixote on my list.
Yeah, there's no fucking way that would have been on anyone's list.
Yeah.
He's the original sidekick. He's his squire, kinda. He's the original. So this is a 1605 Spanish novel, and if you've never seen Don Quixote or know anything about Don Quixote, so it's a guy who loses his mind and then wants to become a knight when in the 1600s, way after knights, and he gets knighted by some random dude at an inn, and then starts fighting windmills, thinking they're giants. Makes it's this whole thing, but he grabs this random dude, Sancho Panza, who rides a donkey, and he makes him his squire. So he's just the entire time, he's like the voice of reason, but he's not a smart dude either. So he's like, hey man, why are you fighting those windmills? What are you doing? And he's literally the original sidekick, in my opinion. So
yeah, he's definitely one of the first, for sure.
1600s, man.
Well, I mean, Robin Hood predates that and stuff like that. That's why I'm saying one of the first. But you're not wrong. He is one of the foundation groundworks of what a sidekick is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. Robin Hood does have Little John and all that stuff.
Yeah. But no, you're 100% right. He is one of the foundations of what we know as a modern sidekick.
At least a lot of the
archetypes. Further back to the Bible, but that's just me.
Well, yeah,
that's just my mind works.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, but yeah, if you just talk about kind of the modern, a lot of the archetypes that come from it. I'm not saying the idea of a sidekick, but a lot of the stereotypes and just building blocks of that type of character will come from Sancho Panza. Sorry.
Even your number 5 pick, Waylon Smithers. That's kind of come from that. He follows him into madness.
Yeah.
And he keeps him in line.
Well, sometimes you can't. I think Sancho has a better chance of keeping him in line than frickin' Smithers. Burns kind of destroys the city.
And I never actually read the story of Don Quixote, but I did watch an animated movie about the donkey that was used by Sancho Panza. The movie was literally called Don Quixote. Don Quixote. And I watched it just for the pun.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, he does it, and they only refer to the donkey as Sancho's ass, which is I want to be a punk band. If you guys want to join my punk band, Sancho's ass, it would be great.
Vocalist. My only I'm familiar with Don Quixote stuff, but the only visual medium I've ever seen of Don Quixote is the Wishbone episode they did on it.
Of course, they did a Wishbone episode. I watched a lot of Wisecrack Thug Notes. If you've never watched any Thug Notes, treat yourself. Yeah. It's amazing. It's a dude who does a shtick of a good of the street and what's up, playa? But he does old literary reviews, and it's so great because he keeps that shtick the whole time. And it's treat yourself. Thug Notes on Wisecrack, and that's how I found out about Don Quixote, and I've since mostly listened to it. It's really not an easy listen because it's a long audiobook, and a lot of it is lost in translation because, well, it's a different language, but also it's a different version of a different language.
And for those of you who don't know what Wishbone is, it's a TV show from the 90s, a kids' TV show where it was a little dog with an inner monologue, and he recreated all these stories. Like
I thought Journey to the Center of the Earth was a Wishbone original. I did not know. Yeah, for a long time I'm like, what is it, just copying Wishbone?
No.
Yeah. I remember reading the books too. Like I was really into that character, that dog when I was a little kid.
I had a comforter, a Wishbone blanket.
Nice.
Like way too long into my life. Like senior in high school. Like, kept it way too long.
Dude, I still have this after 31 years.
I mean, we all silently judge you for it, but
yeah. Speaking of which, what's the number 4?
Some people don't judge him not so silently.
And that's how you know they're my friends. Speaking of which, Ben.
But by the way, before we move on, can we just pretend for a second that this is my number 4 pick? You made me change my number 4 pick.
Who?
Taco.
Oh. What?
This happened
Sandro
just now.
Panza changed your number 4 pick?
Yes, but it's not Sancho Panza. Let's put it that way. I came up with a better one than I had.
Oh.
All right, next time I'm not going to keep my list solid like I did.
I thought we were only going movies, so I kind of had to change my.
If I knew I could have a liquid list like 50, then I would.
Soda and Hobbs.
Hey, we're talking Sidekicks right now. That's the first one that popped in my head.
All right, go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is when you talk to him, you better stay in your element or he will mess you up. That's right. My number 4 is the one, the only Walter Sobchak.
Yes! Walter Sobchak.
On my honorable mentions, I have Brandt.
I have Walter Sobchak on my honorable mentions, and the reason is I wasn't like I found him on a lot of sidekick lists, but I just in my brain I don't see him as a sidekick. But yeah, but he's on my honorable mentions.
I mean, what can I say about this character? He's a great character. Just stay in your element, or he will fuck you up, and he lives by his own rules. He's a threat. He's an amazing character.
Over the line.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Have you guys heard of the great theory? And it's debunked if you've seen the movie enough. But I had this drunk guy at some party in college trying to explain to me how Donnie is 100% in Walter's head because besides the ash spreading scene, no one ever talks to Donnie. That's it, just that, which all could still be in Walter's head. And then I'm like thinking about it, and I was like, no, there's one time. He's like, what? When the dude's walking away with his portable phone and it's ringing, and Donnie goes, phone's ringing, dude. And he goes, thank you, Donnie. It's the only time somebody talks to Donnie who isn't Walter. The whole movie.
There's also the dude's eulogy, which is still one of my favorite moments in the movie when they throw the fucking ashes and just.
So good.
That's a movie. It took like, I want to say 4 watches before I finally was 100% invested in the movie.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It took me a couple watches to figure out what was happening. Like I knew
that's
the
what
storyline, but what are they trying to do? It took me a while to realize it was a noir.
Yeah.
And then it all clicked.
That's more what I meant. Yeah. It took me 4 watches before I could finally figure it out. Yeah.
It's a great movie. And that one scene was one to Electric Club. Electric Club.
Yes.
What happens, Donnie? This is what happens when you
This is what happens when you fuck a man in the ass, Donnie.
A stranger.
Yeah.
Fuck a stranger in the ass.
Have you ever seen the Big Lebowski 50?
Yep. Let's move on.
So here's a little.
You've noticed I've been silent this entire time, right?
Hey, you know what? It's a movie I'd recommend watching. To be honest,
you would like.
I haven't wanted to watch. I just never got around to it. That's all.
Here's a fun fact for you that I found out last year. So you know that there's a song where he gets knocked out and it's like he's in the white jumpsuit and.
Yeah, just dropped in by Kenny Rogers.
Yeah, so say I found out last year that was Kenny Rogers' band before he became Kenny Rogers.
And it's a good Kenny Rogers song.
It is,
It's really, I love that song. Eagles of Death Metal have a really good. They're not the Eagles and they're not death metal, but the Eagles of Death Metal have an amazing cover to Just Dropped In, where it's like really cool old school rock style to it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd suggest it.
Right on.
Market Zero.
Okay, Matt, what is your number 4?
So this is a character that has appeared in 2 of the 4 movies of this franchise. Originally, when the character was conceived, he was actually cast as Danny DeVito, but when he had to pull out, they got this actor. It is none other than Sala.
Ooh. That was quick.
Yeah, well, Ben was talking after he put out the picture. I'm like, I could just quickly do this. Yeah, I love Sala. Like, he's a good friend. He's dependable. Helps you out in a pinch. Do whatever he can to help your friends escape. He's an informant. Like, he is what you want in a psychic. Plus, he's funny. Favorite line? One of my favorite lines? Asps. Very dangerous. You go first. Yeah, I love Saw.
Wasn't it?
I like it more.
Wasn't it the same scene? Wasn't it the same scene where he eats the fly that randomly walks into his mouth?
I think so. But
that's acting right there.
Yeah. But yeah, Sala is a great character.
The actor does not break even when a fly wanders into his mouth.
So here's another thing from the movie. So when they were filming, everybody got sick in Tunisia because of the food and stuff like that, except for Spielberg, because he brought his own canned food. John Rhys Davies was telling the story on the making of that there is a deleted scene where Sala is at an execution post, and while they were filming the scene, he says, "I am not embarrassed to say that I filled my jalaba." In other words, he shit his pants in front of everybody, and he didn't care. Yeah, and everyone got not food poisoning. I think it was like dysentery. Like everyone got really sick for a couple days.
I mean, shitting your pants and not caring. I have to say I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who hasn't?
Yeah. You know what they say? Don't trust the fart.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. It's like,
wasn't that the same reason that Indy shot the guy with the sword?
That's how that scene came about.
Yeah, he was sick as fuck and just didn't care.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Harrison Ford changes the script because of food poisoning. John Rhys Davies stays the course. Like I said, that's acting. He doesn't break, even when
he's a British actor. So yeah,
He changed the script into the one, like the most iconic shot one of the most iconic shots in the movie.
Because it's Harrison fucking Ford, of course.
Yeah, but I do like that his 2 big heroes of that era shot 2 unarmed men, like because Greedo when he shoots first, and then that guy.
Greedo wasn't unarmed. Greedo wasn't unarmed.
All right, whatever.
Neither was the guy with the sword either. He was armed.
That conversation is for our Star Wars show.
Which I don't see here.
Who shot first? Well, fuck. I've actually got a shirt here that says of Captain Mal from Firefly, and it says underneath.
He does
shoot first.
He does shoot first. He shoots unarmed. He shoots straight up unarmed people multiple times.
So here's a little fun D&D story.
You know who also shoots first? Captain Jack Harkness.
That is true. He shoots first with more than one pistol.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
And he hides the pistol where no one is going to look for it.
It is.
Now you're speaking my language.
Yeah. No, quick little fun story about killing people. So my a couple weeks ago was our first campaign of a D&D story, and I'm playing this jaded French halfling rogue sort of thing. And I walk in. I'm supposed to try to stop this illusion from happening. And there's these 2 guards standing there, and everyone thought I was going to use my sneak to move past them, no problem. I said, no, I'm just going to shoot them, trying to scare them off. I rolled a natural 20 and ended up shish kebabbing the 2 through the neck with 1 arrow.
Yeah,
and so the character went from good to lawfully evil.
You know how we call that in the professional term. You know what the professional term for something like that is, right?
A story arc or character arc.
No, for what you did.
What? Murder?
Leroy Jenkins!
Yeah. Actually, funny thing, our cleric he's normally our cleric, but he likes to pretend to be a barbarian. He's our Leroy Jenkins. Least hit points, least amount of damage, but he's always the first to go into battle.
So you got a crossbow, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Do you fire into melee?
I tend to stay more back because I can use my sneak attack and get more.
Okay, but I'm asking, like, if there's two people fighting up there, do you fire in a melee?
Yeah.
Don't.
Okay.
Do it. And tell your, I don't know what level you are, but tell your high enough level that you know you're not going to hit your fellow friends.
Yeah.
It was like one of the first D&D games ever. I was playing a dwarf ranger. I love doing things like that. But I fired into melee and I nailed our fighter in the back, dropped him, and then as he's laying in front of the bugbear, I fired another one, got another one, and shot the dude while he was already unconscious and killed him. Okay. And then he made a rogue character who did nothing but steal shit from me. That's not good role playing.
I've got a great D&D story, but I'm going to have to tell it after the fact because it's a little long, but it's fucking hilarious because I really fucked over a DM on that one.
Welcome to D&D. Welcome to Advices in D&D with Ducko.
And Soda.
I don't even like D&D, but I do talk about idiot role-playing game.
All right, 50 Sidekicks. What's your number 4?
Okay, so my number 4 originally, I was torn between two, so I just kind of lumped them together. And that was the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're both, but like the same situation with R2, they're kind of characters in their own right, and they even got their own show. They were nobody's sidekicks. I mean, they were each other. They were a dynamic duo, kind of. And obviously, Falcon is now Captain America. And now both of them in the comics have been Captain America in the past. So, after hearing Sancho Panza, I kind of decided to change my number 4, to someone who pretty much stayed a sidekick for the entirety of the run, Igor. The sidekick of Dr. Frankenstein.
Yes.
Punt. I knew someone was going to say punt. Yep.
Okay. Wait. Can I clarify?
That was this close to being on my list.
Wait a minute. Okay.
Yeah, we need clarification on this. Which version? Are we talking classic James Whale Frankenstein, or are we talking Igor from Young Frankenstein?
I'm talking Young Frankenstein, so I guess it's not the punt.
I'm just talking the character in general. So
okay.
We can wait for Ben's part, I guess.
I think they could be lumped into one, honestly.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk about Igor.
I mean, it was just the comedic version. It's the same character, just with better jokes. Or jokes at all. But
fuck. You know what?
Humor.
Yeah. I know it's a punt. He's replacing my number 3.
Okay, well. We just...
Two votes is probably your number 1. What was my number 3? Timon and Pumbaa.
Are both sidekicks together?
Uh-huh.
You know, why are you doing this to me? First, you did the thing with the Lion King on the stupid
I'll keep
theory on TikTok. No, because I had this whole thing planned. I knew someone was gonna put them, and they were gonna ask me if it's going to be a punt, and I was gonna, quote Mufasa.
Circle.
No. Just
Oh.
When he tells Zazu to just turn back around.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna hit you with the stick and then tell you it doesn't matter because it's in the past. So.
Yeah, there you go.
And also, I specifically didn't even think about, but it still hurts. I didn't think a Lion King one at all because I knew 50 Sidekicks of Geek have one. So I tried to stay out of, except for my number 3. I think I'm going to hear punt.
I mean, hey, listen. Timon and Pumbaa could be someone's number 1. Then Rafiki, Zazu, the hyenas, and Bunga. That's like 5, top 5 just with the Lion King characters.
Now, I wish I would have thought about this before, but 50's making me think of props, and I have a really good prop. So can we either wait 5 seconds for me to run up and grab a prop, or do we want to have Ben do his number 3 before?
I mean, you can go ahead and do it. I'm going to grab a prop myself.
Yeah. It will take me 1 second. I just got to run.
No problem.
Me too.
Be
right back.
You guys do yourself. I can't believe I didn't think about Igor. Like, I mean, it's he is up with my other 2, hands down, above Timon and Pumbaa. So I want to apologize to 50 Sidekicks for hurting his feelings.
Yeah, you ruined my bit.
I'm sorry. I promise I'll send you good candy.
Hey for me.
I'm actually going to start today. I'm going to go try to find some stuff that you want. Question, is there anything that you don't like flavor-wise?
Guess I won't. No one else. I'll try.
Well, I mean, like example, like some people like black licorice, some don't. Like, do you like fruit? Do you like stuff that tastes like fruit? Like,
when it comes to candy, I'm not too picky.
All right.
If anything, I always find someone who does like it. So
I'll do my best. And I'll get my friends in on this, and we'll send you a Canadian candy care package.
I don't know what I missed. But
praise Canada.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to get together because I picked this up at the movies last night. Mike and Ike's root beer float flavored candy, and so yeah, it's surprisingly good. But no, I'm going to get a package of candy and stuff that that obviously 50 doesn't get where he's from, and I'm going to send it to him.
All right, are we ready for my number 3?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
This is my daughter's book that she likes. How to speak. How to speak Wookieese. I knew it! I knew it was going to be punted. I knew it. I thought if anything's going to be punted out of mine, it's my number 3. But come on.
Yeah,
All right.
I know. Yeah.
Well,
right.
Mr. Pump Rainer, you just punted 2 things from both of us. What's yours? What's your number 3?
Mine is a punt from me from Eagle.
Oh. Okay. So it was a small punt.
It's not much of a punt.
It was the sidekicks of punt.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a sidekick of a punt.
A side kick. You're the funniest guy I know. You know that?
You don't know many friends, then do you?
No, I was being sarcastic.
50, you knew the
I wasn't.
one or knew the one from Young Frankenstein. So one
Well, like I said, it's more of a general idea, the idea of Igor, the sidekick, not a specific one. If I had to pick a specific one, did any of you guys watch the movie Victor Frankenstein with James McAvoy and Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah.
I know it exists.
It's called Victor Frankenstein, but it's really an Igor movie. It's the story of Igor and why he's a hunchback. I don't know if that's the PC term. Don't cancel me, but yeah, that is kind of explains. It's really the life of Victor Frankenstein through the eyes of Igor, and it's very much Sancho Panza and Waylon Smithers is a good guy following a not so right in his head guy. And
don't go calling Don Quixote bad, but yes, he's not right.
I never said bad.
All right, I'm just saying he's the best of us.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you know this, 50. If I remember correctly, Victor Frankenstein for the longest time was called Igor.
Yeah.
And before it came out, the movie was going to be called Igor or Igor.
I believe in the book Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, Igor's not even a character. I'm almost 100% sure he was created for the 30s.
No, he wasn't created for the movies. He was created for the stage adaptations that were going on through the 1800s. Yeah, you're right. He's not an original character from the book. And then we'll get to James Whale, 1939. They changed it from Igor to Fritz. And then in Son of Frankenstein, they actually finally brought Igor in. But that version of the character, played by Bela Lugosi, instead of being an assistant, he was a criminal who was hanged, but his neck didn't break, which explains the deformity.
That's awesome.
And then, of course, we get the most famous one, which is none other than Marty Feldman's Igor.
So good.
Dude,
so good.
Yes.
I love this character.
He has the best quotes in the movie.
Yeah.
Everything from abnormal to walk this way to I ain't got nobody.
Nobody got me. Or Igor, can you get the bags? Yeah, you get the blonde. I'll get the one with the toy bin. Or I thought it was Igor. Well, they were wrong, weren't they? What was the name of the brain? It was Abby. Abby something. Abby Normal. Abnormal? Yeah. You got an abnormal brain. Yeah. It's like, go.
Now I gotta watch that movie. You're making me want to watch freaking Mel Brooks so bad.
Oh, Young Frankenstein is one of the best.
That's a side effect of this show. That's a side effect of this show.
You should have been.
I wouldn't call it my favorite, but it's really funny because I got Spaceballs at my favorite just because of my partial to Star Wars. But literally, like then Blazing Saddles, Robin Hood Men in Tights, and Young Frankenstein are tied for 2. Like they're right there.
You're in the same. It's me, Robin Hood #1, and then tied for 2 is this one and Blazing Saddles and
then Producers #3. Sure.
Yeah, and I personally would also throw Dracula Den Loving in it, but that's because I've been watching that and loving it since I was a kid. That's more.
Where does
the History of the World Part 1 fit on your list?
I'd probably put it like a solid number 6.
Long.
The only reason is because I've only seen it twice.
I think I watched it as a kid and I successfully napped twice during it.
My favorite joke in the movie? Behold, I have the 15
10 Commandments.
We should pause it and find out what the other 5 commandments are.
Yeah. The best Mel Brooks quote: "Shit, what is it? A wit is shit, funny is money."
And then in a cave of North America, the first Homo sapien marriage happened. Boom! It was also the site of the first homosexual marriage. Boom!
Yep.
And they figured out how to use music by smashing rocks on people's feet. We're going way off topic, but this is a fun tangent, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Anything Mel Brooks is the best.
So Igor, Ben.
Fun fact, though, one last thing about Mel Brooks. Did you know that my mom always kills the guy? Because she keeps thinking he's dead when he's clearly not.
Oh,
every time we talk about Mel Brooks, oh yeah, he passed away years ago. I'm like, Mom, he's still around. Every
he is.
time.
He was in a documentary like last
7
year.
or 8 times.
To be fair, he is 95 years old. Yeah. How many 95-year-olds?
A lot of other people that she keeps remembering are still alive. It's just for some reason it's Mel Brooks. She can't get it out of her head that it's Mel Brooks is still alive.
So Igor, huh?
Yeah, Igor.
Stay on target.
What this way? Matt, what's your number 3?
It was.
Wait. That's it. That's the whole conversation about Igor?
That was 3. That was 3.
That was also my number 3.
Yeah.
That was your number 3 too?
Yeah, I changed it.
Okay. So I was gonna bring up. Speaking of the movie I mentioned earlier with the donkey, Hody, there's also another animated movie called Igor, and it's basically it envisions a world where all these mad scientists do crazy shit, and every one of them has an Igor. Oh. So like Igor is like a subspecies of humans born to serve mad scientists.
Like minions?
Yes. So like the minions from the Despicable Me franchise, they are Igors. They just live to serve. And obviously the main story is about an Igor after Frankenstein dies in a failed experiment. Igor is the guy that creates Frankenstein's monster, pretending that it's actually the original Frankenstein's monster, because Igors are not allowed to make experiments. Igors are only there to serve and hold the switch. Yes, master. That's all they do.
John Cusack is the voice of Igor in that. And Steve Buscemi's in it. John Cleese, Sean Hayes, Eddie Izzard, Jay Leno.
Holy crap.
Molly Shannon. I gotta watch this.
Yeah,
I remember vaguely when it came out, but I gotta watch this.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. So one last thing before we go on to 50's number 3 is it is an Igor fact, but his Walk This Way line, that scene, is where the inspiration for the famed Aerosmith Walk This Way song came from. They were taking a break while recording Toys in the Attics. That happened to be on. They watched it. The scene happened, and they're like, ding, got a song.
I thought it was a reference to the Aerosmith.
No. Well, Young Frankenstein was 1974. Toys in the Attic came out after that. Because 1973 was Aerosmith's first album.
I don't even know who I am anymore.
Sorry. They brought the joke back in Robin Hood Men in Tights as well.
Yep.
Walk This Way.
One of my favorite songs in Robin Hood Men in Tights is when Sean then became the sheriff, and everyone questioned it. And he said, "What? It went to prison.
What? It wasn't Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles.
Yeah. Let me hear it.
Freaking.
That's disgusting. Hear me.
I have a wonderful idea. If you know you guys are all up for it someday, we should do a Mel Brooks in review.
I'm in.
Maybe for shooting. Maybe for shooting.
Yeah, I'm down for that. We would no. I'll bring up the idea a little bit afterwards. We'll figure something out. But I want to do a Mel Brooks in review now. Okay, so 50.
53.
Yeah.
53. Yeah, 53. Ronald Weasley.
I never would have thought of him as a sidekick. But
Really?
Yes.
My wife got mad. He's not on my list.
Really?
She specifically was like, "Where's Ron?" And I'm like, "You're the Harry Potter person of the house, man.
Yeah.
I'm not in it like my wife is." Yeah.
Well, you can tell her that at least someone remembered that he's a sidekick.
Ronnie the Bear. Yep. That's
Ronnie
a
the
reference no one's gonna get. But
when I think sidekicks in Harry Potter, like Ron and Hermione don't come to mind because they're very, very essential. Like when I hear sidekicks in Harry Potter, it's Crabbe and Goyle that first pop into my head. But you're right, Ron is a great sidekick.
Ron, I mean, I sure as hell am not calling Hermione a sidekick because, and then that's why I'm going with Ron because he's Harry Potter's wingman. And he later in life he became Hermione's side piece. We should call it
side piece, main piece.
Yeah, side piece.
Yeah.
So Harry was her side
Crumb in the
piece.
closet or what?
Anyway, so I had this whole spiel planned out. So yeah, he's the Tails to Harry Potter's Sonic. He's the Clank to his Ratchet, the Kazooie to his Banjo, the Luigi to his Mario. More obscure video game references. Yeah, all of these guys. He's
pumped them all.
He's the Chewbacca to Harry Potter's Han Solo.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Ron.
He's a heck of a character. Yeah.
Yeah, and he also has all the comic relief bits that you get with a sidekick character, like when he tried to curse Malfoy with the slugs and it backfired on him, like shit like that.
Has anybody ever heard of Wizard People Dear Reader?
No.
No.
Okay, well, you can get it all on YouTube, and it's a guy who I'm assuming is drunk. The audio is shut off to the movie, and he narrates it incorrectly, but he has this amazing script, and just the whole time he's like, Privet Tribe, the near-dead Dumbledore, and then he talks like that the whole time, but he refers to Ron as Ronnie the Bear, and he just makes him an epic badass the whole time. Nice. And Hermione insults him, and Ronnie spits and growls in her direction, just stuff like that. That's why I say Ronnie the Bear, and I almost went that version of Ron, not Ron, but I just decided not to do it at all. So.
It sounds very similar to something that people in Israel made for a bunch of different stuff, and one of their famous ones is actually for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff.
Oh, nice. And
speaking of references that no one's going to get, one of the recurring jokes in that whole series where they sort of they're calling themselves funny dubbing because they voice dub. I'm assuming they're high as hell when they're doing it, but because they're laughing their way through the entire thing. But one of their funniest bits, the recurring gags, is holy avocado because of holy guacamole.
Oh,
yeah. So he kind of made it so Michelangelo's like, holy avocado, what happened?
Gotta love translations.
Yeah, me too.
Excuse me, how much is a holy avocado?
Holy rusted metal, Batman. Well, it's really holy rusted metal.
Oh, it's
a holy bartender.
This metal's full of holes and it's resting. Yeah. It's a holy rusted Batman.
Okay, so whose turn is it next? Okay,
my number 2. We're getting there. With Wayne as always, Garth. I got Igor.
Algar.
I wanted to say Elgor, and I'm like, no, that's Ansel Elgor. Elgar. I had to go Garth. I grew up on Wayne's World. It's probably one of the first movies I ever watched. I memorized it before I knew what any of those words meant. I laughed at it because my mom was laughing, and I later found out why it's funny. It's one of my favorite movies, even though Wayne's kind of a toxic person. But Garth is not. Garth is an amazing character. Like, I love him, especially as a psychic. So he's with him at all times, and he supports him at all times. But he's not like something's making noise from in my room. I'm sorry. Let me take care of it really quick.
Something like
the spaceship landing.
Yeah. Yeah. God, I'm so glad I got back into Doctor Who. Oh my God, I missed it so much.
Yeah. Since we're waiting. Oh, looks like we're not waiting anymore.
Yeah, it was the baby monitor was still on, and it was catching a feedback of some sort. Also, my cat just came out of the closet. That's hilarious. I didn't think about how that was.
So 50, I have that as a table side lamp.
Nice.
Okay, this is a Bluetooth speaker.
I saw those. Yeah.
As I was okay. Sorry.
I hear it. Yeah. God,
listen to the sound of the universe.
If only he could figure out how to take off the brakes.
Yeah.
No, but he said he likes it.
Likes it, yeah.
Why would he want to take off the brakes?
Yeah, I was pitching Garth as my number 2. So not only is he a very loyal, all times trying to help Wayne, always with him, but he's still not a doormat. When Wayne ditches him on the show, he freaking gives him an earful in one of the most dramatic scenes of that whole movie of just would I have to run everything by you? Yeah, you have to run everything by me. Like, what am I, a chimp? And he just freaks on him. And that's what makes him such a good psychic, is even though he's ride or die, don't be a dick to me, though. I'm not a gopher. And that's what makes him, it's what Smithers is missing. Smithers is a gopher. But Garth isn't. Yeah, he's got it. Yeah, but Garth has that backbone. He still wants to ride or die and be with him at all times, but doesn't mean that you could treat me like a freaking idiot, So I love Garth, and I think Dana Carvey's performance is great. He based it off of his brother, who's a scientist. Yeah. Because his brother talks like that. Oh, how's it go? I can't do it. But. Anyways, I got a cat. I got to get out of my room now.
Garth is a really great character. Every time I Garth, when you think of him, for me, it's the Foxy Lady scene in the restaurant. Yeah. Oh yeah. Or in Stan McKee's Donuts. Sorry.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So
have you ever seen Wayne's World?
Like, a lot of SNL stuff really passed me by.
Gotcha.
It's very much. I mean, we have our own version here. It's much younger, but a lot of it is just. Even if I watched it now, it'd probably go over my head because it's very much American current at the time politics.
Yeah, I think a lot of Wayne's World is nostalgia for me, but there is a couple scenes that I think are absolute genius, like the product placement scene.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God,
it's one of the funniest and well-written scenes ever. Of the whole time they're talking about how they're not going to sell out, but they're doing product placement through it. Oh yeah, we're not going to sell out. Have you tried this Domino's? It's so good.
And of course, the most iconic scene to come out of all of them is the Bohemian Rhapsody scene, which I'm sure that you've seen, 50. Yeah. And what I love is Garth doesn't know the words. He doesn't know
I remember they made a reference to that in the Bohemian Rhapsody movie.
Yep. What I love about that is they had to film it, throughout a whole day, and Mike Myers said that his neck was killing him and that he's never going to headbang again. But it's because Wayne can't headbang. If you rewatch that scene, he doesn't fluidly move his neck. He keeps his neck stiff. That's going to kill your neck. That's not how you headbang. You have to let your head move if you're trying to stay stiff. And that's what he's doing. And the guys in the back know what they're doing. Their heads,
Mike.
Hair's flying like pom-poms.
Yeah, and because of them, every time Bohemian Rhapsody comes on, I can't help but headbang.
Oh, yeah. Everybody
does from our age group. Well, now, little bit of a little side story involving that song before we move on to Ben. So when I was in my grade 11 year, so my second to last year of high school, we played Bohemian Rhapsody in band, and it was the end concert. I had the pleasure to actually introduce a song. So I went with this song was because of its appearance in Wayne's World. Rose back to number 1 on the charts. None other than I got to introduce it using Wayne's World. It was awesome.
Awesome.
And the best part happened during a rehearsal. So you know that gong at the very end of the song. Mm-hmm. So that's in that particular version of the piece. The person who was supposed to hit it forgot, and he was on the other side of the room. So he heard the beat coming up, and you saw him go, "Oh shit!" And he fucking whipped the mallet across the band room, and he hit it right at the right time.
Nice.
He had that plan. He was practicing all night.
And that was the rehearsal.
That was a rehearsal. It was beautiful.
It would have been great to do it if we were having the.
Yeah, if I was the band leader, I'd say, okay, practice that throw. We're doing a different thing.
I do have one more that it shows what happens when something goes wrong as a percussionist. Where it's music festival, we're getting adjudicated. This is all on tape. We're in Calgary. We're doing the big Canadian Music Fest thing. So Mark Bijoni's in the back. He's coming up for his big cymbal crash, and all of a sudden, his cymbals stuck together. They suction together right during competition, and you can see him go.
That's pretty good.
All right, Ben, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is somebody who is acting like his maker, except is 1/8 his size.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to
go. No way!
Mini.
No way! Mini-Me! Ah! I did not ever think. I would have never thought of that. That's amazing. Right?
He's everything you want a sidekick to be. And he doesn't talk a word.
Genetically engineered sidekick.
Yeah.
Oh my god, everything is not really
That's all I think of when he flips the bird.
Like this crotch crawls in through the hole.
Oh my god.
Well, going off what I said about Garth, well, also, this is a Mike Myers sidekick. That's hilarious. Mm-hmm. But he also has a backbone. When he's starting the favor of Scott again in Goldmember, he freaking betrays him because he's like, what? I'm just your clone? Yeah, when he kicks him out of the room, it's like, everybody leave. Not you, Scott. Not you, Frau. Not you, number 2. So good.
Oh, I love Mini-Me.
Fun fact, though. Fun fact. I have a bit of a fun fact. So Vern Troyer who plays him.
Yep.
He actually is the body of Grip Hook in the first Harry Potter movie, but he's voiced by Warwick Davis.
Are you going to say the rest of that fun fact? He's the only American in that entire franchise.
Yep.
Well, that's not really fun, is it?
That's fun. What's not fun about that? He's the one guy who made it. He's the one American dude who got some of that British Chang.
We got one of ours into their movie. Yeah, diversity.
What? They only sold books in Britain? Is that what you're trying to tell? We made them rich off of all of us bought those books. All right, we're allowed to get one guy in there.
But they had to change the name of the first book from the Philosopher's Stone to the Sorcerer's Stone in your area of the world.
Yeah, but I can't say philosopher. It's a weird word.
I apparently don't know what a philosopher is.
Philosopher?
I also don't know how to spell it.
That is why they changed it, and this is me dumbing it down, is because they thought Americans were too dumb to know what a philosopher was.
I know what a philosopher is, but what's a sorcerer? It's just a wizardy person, but
it's harder to know what a sorcerer is than what a philosopher is.
How did we get from Mini-Me to that?
Because he was in the Philosopher's
Stone. I'll tell you why. Because Soul is not here, and this is what happens when she's not on the show.
Yeah. So okay.
Well, sorry, I can't fill her shoes. Jeez.
I'll hurry it along.
She's not
trying as hard as I can. You know what? I'm going to take my Wookiee book and I'm going to leave.
You stay right there, Taco. No,
a backbone, Taco. You answer him. You need a backbone. Answer him.
Yeah, I'm going to. I have my number 2 ready to go. If you'll let me go for it.
Are we done with Mini-Me?
Yeah. And
All right, can I bring up the best scenes when he jumps up on the table and runs to go hit Scott's button?
Yeah.
So funny when he just goes to try to murder Scott. Oh, it's so good. All right, we can move on.
Okay, so my number 2 is possibly the greatest imaginary friend ever created.
Drop that, Fred.
Hobbs.
All right.
I mean, it's fucking Calvin and Hobbs, man. Like, who didn't? Well, no, it's Hobbs specifically, but who didn't grow up with those kids in our generation? Right. Really, Ben? You didn't read Calvin and Hobbs growing up? Dude, you're missing out. Like,
there's
it still holds up.
Yeah,
he ended the series like 30 years ago, and it still fucking holds up.
Absolutely.
One of my. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna bring up one of my favorite Calvin and Hobbs, and Hobbs isn't even in it.
We're all adults here. None of us are responsible, Mom.
Yeah.
I thought you've known that by now.
I'm a child. I'm very responsible. What are you talking about? I'm extremely. I pay bills. Okay, but anyways, that's the standards of my house. But no, so my favorite Calvin and Hobbs isn't even in it, and it just anyone who grew up with the type of winters that I know Soda has and that I have, your negative 40 Fahrenheit. You'll literally die if you're outside too long. But it's Calvin's just standing by himself in the snow, and there's like nothing for 2 panels. And then his head just turns, and he like frowns, and then he just goes, I hate it when your boogers freeze. So good. I always think that. Whenever my boogers freeze, I think of Calvin. Like
Calvin and Hobbs. No, Hobbs is the quintessential imaginary friend. He's everything what you would want. He's his best friend's Calvin. He tortures Calvin relentlessly, which I love. Which I kind of want to see the panels from the parents' perspective. Just see the kid running around with tussling with a teddy bear. Hobbs is amazing. But this is one of my favorite things I discovered. It was a fan cartoon, a continuation that somebody made of Calvin and Hobbs, but it was Calvin and Susie's daughter. Now, forgive me, I don't remember the daughter's name, but she's feeling lonely, like she can't fit in, so Calvin gives her Hobbs. And then there's 3 straight comics of him watching his daughter do what he did, and it's just, it's so beautiful.
I just had feels for an imaginary thing I haven't even seen.
Yeah, I'll have to find it and send it to you. It's Hobbs grows up to be Calvin grows up to be cartoonist, and his daughter, who's got a good unique name, she just exactly does what he did as a kid with Hobbs. Being when your dad was a kid. It was such beautiful and sweet, and I really want to stuff. I've always wanted a stuffed Hobbs to have in my house somewhere.
Yeah, I would be disappointed if it never comes to life, though. So
yeah. That's
just,
one.
Every once in a while, I'd like crack open a beer and put it by that. Like, come on, hang out with me.
That's a comic strip that I love to death, but I'm glad they never kept going because I think the final panel shot is the perfect way to end it.
Well, explain it.
Well, it's just Calvin and Hobbs in the snow on a sled, and he's just like, where do we go from here? And Calvin's like, I don't know. See where the adventure takes us. I'm paraphrasing it, but that's basically what it is, and that's the last panel. We've got a world of adventure out there.
Love it.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the sled goes down, and when it ends, he turns back, and Hobbs is just a stuffed animal.
No.
And then he grew out of it.
That would have sucked. That would have killed a lot of childhoods. It's just
mine. Yeah.
It's like the line where we're going. We don't need any roads. Like we don't know what's ahead of us, and that's just how it ends.
Is that a reference of some sort?
I think so. It's from some movie that came out in 1984. I don't know if you ever heard of it, called Back to the Future.
1984?
1985?
Call me an idiot?
Yeah. And guess what? You earned it too. I'm with Ben.
Hey, but Ben, which one of us has the movie poster framed?
Okay. Which one of us is still struggling on movie release dates? Clearly. Jeez. Get that one wrong.
89 and 90 for 2 and 3. Fight me.
Dude, I've been trying to challenge you low-key for a while. I will totally take you out. All right.
Dude, I will take you down, motherfucker.
Okay, bring it on. I don't even need to study.
I think we need a subsection of the Schmodown to settle this feud.
I would make you rethink your entire freaking existence there, buddy.
It's too bad Soul isn't here because I smell a challenge brewing.
I just hit it with the glove like a second ago. That's not brewing.
Yeah, and I'm about to come back. And I'm about to come back at you with the fucking metal glove from Robin Hood Men in Tights, okay?
Oh, okay. Bring it on. What year did that come out?
1993.
You looked it up.
Yeah, before.
I know, but you looked at your phone like, well, it's 1993.
No, it's just from my friend's chat. Okay, we should probably get this going. He disappeared again.
Yep.
Don't make me use my glove.
Yeah, I saw
I don't want you. I take you both on in movie release dates.
Dude, try to put the gems in there. You'd explode. You couldn't harness that power.
I don't know about you, but all the gems are in here.
Yeah.
That's a big-ass, kick-ass prop.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, don't ask me what I do in my free time.
I don't think you could with that. But anyways, what's your number 2 there, Mr. 50?
Yeah,
you're right. It's not. Yeah, you're right. It's not that big. Anyways, my number 2, I would have figured. Speaking of 1984, I would have figured that a different character from this franchise would get punted by someone, so I went with a different one. Iago from Aladdin.
Oh, see, I didn't do any Disney on my list.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh,
Neither did I.
so
But yes,
funny. I thought we were going to say that the genie would have been your number 1, but that's interesting. Wait a minute. What do you mean no Disney? Didn't you mention that originally you had Timon and Pumbaa as your number?
Yeah, but they're not anymore, so technically I don't have any Disney. No. To be
You may
honest,
have outsmarted me, but I've outsmarted your outsmarting.
I was sitting here thinking about Sidekicks, and like I just started writing them down, and he didn't even come to my mind. I guess it's another one. That's what I think. He's such a big part of the movie that I don't know.
I'm just getting upset at this point that nobody has said my number 1 because I'm starting to think it's not on anyone's list. But yeah, keep going.
Maybe it's just too original and too smart for all 3 of us.
Or too old.
No, it's neither of those things. It's like, all right, whatever.
Let me guess. It's either Rick or Morty, right?
None of your business, all right? Wait until we get to the segment.
Yeah, it is. It is.
No.
Okay.
Okay. So let's rewind. I had a big glove a second ago.
I said Carl, Lenny, Milhouse, and Smithers were all my top 4 from The Simpsons. Those are all my sidekicks. Sorry, you're caught up.
Okay, 50. Yeah. Seriously, why did you choose Iago?
Because he's the perfect sidekick. He's the sidekick of 3 major characters in the entire franchise.
The voice of an angel.
The voice of an angel. Yeah, correctly.
Yeah.
But he's Jafar's sidekick in the first one. In The Return of Jafar, he switches sides, becomes Aladdin's sidekick, and in the third one, Aladdin and the Prince of Thieves, he just straight up becomes the sidekick to Aladdin's father. So he's like a sidekick of 3 of the main characters.
Need sidekick, will travel.
Yeah. Need a sidekick? I'll be a sidekick for you. I'll kick you in the side all day long.
I love Gilbert Gottfried so freaking much. I forgot he was in the second Beverly Hills Cop. Oh. I forgot about that scene. And they go in there and they're asking for a bribe to get rid of speeding tickets, but he's like, What can I say with you? I put something in this hand and the speeding ticket's in this hand. You go, oh, what was it? What was in this hand? I'm looking over here. I don't see this. And they're like, oh, a bribe? And he's like, what about like $200? And he just goes, $200? Let go of my arm. And it's like, that just kills me.
For me, I always recommend this is you have to listen to Gilbert Gottfried read the vagina monologues.
His 50 Shades of Grey read. Yes. Is my inner goddess is dancing. And
the other one is my vagina. You're like, holy shit.
And it ends with just a chick like working up to it. She just looks at the camera and goes,
sorry.
This is fucking hot.
Yeah, but
we're talking about Iago.
You do remember my mom watches this show live right now, right?
Sorry.
Hi, 50s mom.
Hi, Mom.
For you,
this is
No, I thought about it. I swear to God, Stark. He was in my I don't have it. He was in my rough draft. Chota Boy was in my rough draft. He's this close. Sorry.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
I think I said everything I can say at this point. I don't want this conversation to go any further than it needs to be.
Is it great that Iago is where we went down the dirty path?
I know, right?
The only Disney character.
The only Disney character so far.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do our honorable mentions.
And you know what?
Somebody
I just thought about my number one, I just thought about my number one, and there's definitely a dirty road we can walk with that.
Well, we'll walk it when we get there. Let's do honorable mentions.
And all I got to say is our viewership has gone up, so Dirty Talk apparently worked.
Hell yeah.
Okay,
can I tell you my favorite Gilbert Gottfried joke?
Okay, so let's do the honorable mentions. Taco, what do you have on your list?
Again, I left it upstairs. Or no, I left it in my phone, which is charging. But this might still be a number one, but I had Luigi on my list for a long time. That got booted for Sandro Panza. And again, like I said earlier, I had Milhouse too, but he just didn't make the cut for obvious reasons. And you said like all of my honorable mentions 50 earlier with all the video game ones. I was thinking Clank, and I was thinking
Kazooie.
The other one you said, Zack and
Dexter.
Tails. Yeah, Tails. I was thinking Tails.
You're right.
But there's a lot of the video game ones, but the problem is they're literally just characters that have no character. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to say,
Well, Tails does. Tails has a lot.
Eventually, but not the ones I played. I only played.
Okay.
But all right, those are my honorable mentions. A lot of video game ones, but I was really surprised I haven't heard Luigi yet. That's all.
Okay, Ben, your honorable mentions.
Bubba from Forrest Gump.
Mm-hmm.
C-3PO and R2-D2. I looked them as one for two. Sweet, Dwight Schrute from The Office.
Yeah, fair point.
For the person that inspired this, Otis from Superman the movie.
Mm-hmm.
5, Wilson from House. 6, Donkey from Shrek. 7, Tickle from Arrow.
Oh, yeah.
8, Ethel from I Love Lucy. 9, Samurai from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one I thought we were going to hear. That's why I didn't put it in.
Number 10, Alfred.
Yeah.
Number 11, Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And number 12,
yes. That was almost on my list.
Yeah, top 5.
Matt, 12, Screech from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, that is a sidekick if there ever was one. That crazy may he rest in peace.
I had 2 more that I forgot, and I'm glad. So if I may, really quick, and one was Willow from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and the reason because I feel like she really does just come into her own as a character. She was on a lot of lists, but like she's Willow at the end. She's not like her sidekick anymore. Mm. And then another one. I'm a big Gravity Falls fan. I was thinking of Mabel Pines, but again, I think of them as partners, like less her being Dipper's sidekick. I think of it as Mabel and Dipper's show. So I couldn't put her on, but like if she did like fit my criteria, she probably would have been number 2 because I love Mabel.
I've never seen Gravity Falls, unfortunately.
It's amazing. Treat yourself. It's only 2 seasons.
Okay, so my honorable yeah, she's the best sidekick we ever had on this show, especially when she was on a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, outshine the original. One of the very few.
Yeah. Okay, so my honorable mentions, I've got Rob Schneider's Ula from 51st Dates. Oh, you crazy bitch! Brant from Big Lebowski because he's such a sniveling Otis, of course, and Happy Hogan.
Woo, cool.
Yeah, obviously the Jon Favreau MCU version.
Yeah.
Which I think his best performance as that character is in Spider-Man: Far From Home. Personally,
agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 50. What about you for honorable mentions?
Okay, so starting us off, we have. I need to work on this better. Yeah, we have Pikachu, obviously from Pokemon.
So close to being on my list. Yep, it was so close.
Rhodey, but why not? Yep. And Oh shit! I had a. Oh yeah, Grandpa Joe from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, whichever version fits better for you.
Don't get me started on Grandpa Joe. What a food. Sorry, keep going. Yeah, he's a horrible character. He's a piece of crap. He's the worst character in the whole movie. Keep going.
Okay, thank you. Grogu.
Oh yeah.
Also known as Baby Yoda for my mom.
Yep.
And like Ben said, Alfred.
Okay, before we go into our number one,
and Rocket and Groot, lump them into one. Rocket and Groot.
So before we go on, I just happened to see this from when I was looking for my Hobbs image. Now you all know who the Tiger King is, correct?
Yes.
I've heard of him.
Okay, so I saw this.
So you're saying that Kelvin Hobbs is a Tiger King prequel?
You know what? That just completely changes my perspective on a lot of things.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, so let's hit the number ones then. Let's wind this list down. So Taco, bear us with your number one.
Well, I want to lie and come up with a different one now because somebody said it. You don't guess. Yes, of course it's Morty. I got one right here. 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 It's got to be Morty Smith from Rick and Morty. I think he still considers himself a sidekick. But again, talk about coming into your own. He's really kind of, especially the last two seasons, surpassing. Thank you. Awesome. Surpassing Rick as the main character and even as a more interesting character. I love Morty Smith. I think he's such a depraved, horrible, accurate 14-year-old. Yeah, and I love it. He's my number one sidekick, and all infinity versions of him, even left-handed Rick or left-handed Morty and Fat Morty and all those Mortys are all my favorite.
Okay, I tried the show a few years ago and I couldn't get past first couple episodes. I think it's time I revisit it with a more open mind.
Please do. I highly suggest it.
It's not streaming, but I'm pretty sure some of my friends have all the seasons on DVD.
It's not streaming? It's streaming in 2 places in America.
Yeah, it's it's streaming in a couple places, but it's only seasons 2 and 5, so
it would be 1 through 5.
No,
1 through 4.
Canada,
5 doesn't exist yet.
In Canada, where it's streaming, it's not the whole series. It's only a couple seasons.
Okay. Well, I could also just mail you all of my Blu-rays. But yeah, it's on HBO now and Hulu. There you go. All right. Anyone want to speak on Morty before we move on to Ben's number one? All right. Not even a titter. Tough stuff.
Ben?
I can't. I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. All right.
I have nothing to add.
Yeah, basically, I want to see what the hell Pickle Rick's all about at this point.
Do I really discuss Rick and Morty all the time, thinking that everyone gets my inside jokes, and no one does. Oh my god, I feel alone in a room right now. That I thought I was going to be saying punt at least twice when it comes to like Morty. I thought he was going to be on everyone's list.
Because of how prevalent it is in pop culture, I'm familiar with quite a bit of it. But yeah, I just never really watched it.
All right. Okay, Ben, you're number one.
My number one. Hold on. Let me do something real quick.
That's why I put this shirt on. I was wearing a different shirt right before this. So.
That's how I know. That's how I was able to guess what your number one is. Just like I already know what Ben's number one is.
My number one is the pun from earlier.
Actually, my buddy can do a really good chewy bat pressure. Plus, so it works out.
Can you not hear my book? Is it that quiet?
I heard it earlier.
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out where the mic is. Yeah, it's really quiet. I didn't realize.
He's an incredible character. He has a back no matter what. He has knowledge. I'm not going to talk about his family because as of now, is his family canon?
Oh, not his family from holiday special, not that.
Okay.
That's not. I don't think holiday specials can.
But I think his dad was mentioned in a book at some point, and it was the same name as the dad from the holiday special, but not the same character.
I was gonna say that Han is more his family than anybody else.
Oh, absolutely.
In the movies, and I'm going by the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw it when Han died. Spoiler alert. When Han died, Chewie was resistant, and Kylo. I mean, he is a loyal and honorable and incredible number 2 to Han's number 1. And that's all I have to say. What are your guys' thoughts?
Watch the scene in Return of the Jedi where Chewie gets sold to Jabba, and then right after Han gets released from the carbonite, and they go down and they meet in the cellar or in like the cage or whatever, and they like see each other for the first time, and Chewie's like just hugging him. It's like one of the most emotional scenes in all of Star Wars, and it's just because 2 best friends finally get to see each other again, and just he's like almost weeping, and Han's going, "It's all right, big guy, it's all right." And it's such a
I go away for a bit, and everyone has delusions of grandeur.
Yeah. Jedi Knight.
A Jedi Knight.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest. I know it's controversial, I don't know, but I loved how they met in Solo. I actually really liked their stuff in that movie.
Yeah.
That's something that they almost took completely from the original extended universe. Like, he was freed by Han in Legends. Like, that's how it's always been. So, yeah.
Matt, you mean nothing quiet?
Yeah, sir. I was just looking something up real quick. Yeah, I mean, Chewie is everyone's co-pilot, pretty much. Like, well, he's so ingrained in our society that when you're sitting shotgun, people refer to it as Chewie. Sometimes
they'll call it Chewie. Yeah. And I've been calling Gold Leader my Chewie.
Yeah, the whole time.
He's my co-host, and I will always say my Chewie. Yeah, because that's what he is. He's almost as lovable. Yeah,
pretty much.
The reason he's not on my list is because I think he's more than just a sidekick. I think, like you said, he's the co-pilot. And just like we lumped 2 characters into the same one, I figured I can do the same for Han and Chewie. They're interchangeable. They're so inseparable in my opinion. Just like how I combined my number 1 pick into, which is 2 characters, I lumped it into one. I did the same thing for Han and Chewie, which is why I couldn't put just Chewie on the list. And Han ain't nobody's sidekick, so
no, for sure.
No, he's solo.
But
thank you guys. I'm just gonna show myself out.
Yep.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for joining us, Taco. No.
Thank you.
I mean, you had your number 1. We don't need you anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I found that that Calvin and Hobbes future thing. The kid's name is Bacon. Don't ask.
Okay.
But I'll send it to you guys later in the chat. Okay, so my number 1 is also a twofer that I'm lumping into one. That when I had to explain to my mom why I love this particular franchise, I explained these 2 characters as final episode, and just from explaining it, I broke down in tears. It is Rory Williams and Amelia Amy Pond.
Good one.
When I think Doctor Who companion, I don't think Rose, I don't think Donna, I don't think Martha. It'll always be, for me personally, Rose, Rory, and Amy, because they were the first companions I ever saw.
Is that the Karen Gillan one?
Karen Gillan, yeah.
Gillan.
Yeah. Okay, Gillan. Yeah,
and if you look at where those characters started at the first episode of season 5 and where they ended in The Angels Take Manhattan, you wouldn't recognize them. The very first episode, Amy is this flaky, ditzy, kissogram, dressed as a cop. Rory's just an orderly in the hospital. They go on their adventures, and once they get married, they start to grow as people, and a lot of their human maturity rubs off on the Doctor at times. They're very much a family unit. You can tell that it greatly affects him when he can't see them anymore because of what happens in the events of Angels Take Manhattan. And of course, what is the last thing we see right before the Fifth Doctor's? And I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about this. The last person we see right before Matt Smith regenerates is none other than Karen Gillan come down for that surprise cameo in that episode. And for me, that like you go look at the best companions, and it's Rory and Amy are right at the top of the list.
And because Stephen Moffat loves wrapping things in a neat little bow. He did the same thing again with Clara when Peter Capaldi regenerated.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to also bring up is just how devoted to Amy Rory is. He waited for her for 2,000 years.
As a plastic centurion.
As a plastic centurion, but he still had all of Rory's memories.
Wait, are you talking about that one episode, or am I thinking of something?
Yeah, it's the one where they had that giant.
The Pandorica opens.
Yeah, the Pandorica opens where they had this giant.
And Big Bang too.
Yeah.
What was the name of the last one?
I can't remember, but I do remember it's in the future, and I think Amy has an eye patch. Matt Smith has long hair.
No, not that episode.
No, that's not the episode where he waits for her for 2,000 years.
Oh yeah, no.
The one with the Pandorica.
I
think the one I'm thinking about is The Girl Who Waited.
Yes, that's another great episode, The Girl Who Waited, where they go into this place and time somehow happens and they see Amy, who's been waiting for like 20 years. She's older, she's bitter, and yeah.
So it's like the dog from Futurama?
Yeah, kind of the dog from Futurama, but she doesn't die on that episode. Yeah, that's actually a great analogy.
That's what I'm here for.
But by the way, Soda, if you want to cry some more, have you ever heard of the Doctor Who minisode called PS?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Basically, it's just all it is just animated storyboard with voiceover from Arthur Darvill, who also obviously played Rory, and it's a letter that Rory sent. Gave to his son to give to his father in the present day, where he he lets his father know everything that happened to him.
I don't know if I could handle that, to be honest.
I could.
For those who don't know, the actor who plays Rory's dad is the same actor who plays Arthur Weasley in the Harry Potter film franchise.
Yeah.
The guy from
they look surprisingly similar to each other.
They do. And to be honest, the first appearance of the father gives me one of my best Matt Smith moments. Is when it's the one with the dinosaurs on the spaceship episode where Rory's dead. What grown adult still has a Christmas list? And you see the Doctor in the background. I do. All right, 50.
So Doctor Who is like a show then?
Are you being serious? I mean,
wait, so this Rick and Morty, is this a comic book of some kind?
Yeah.
There is a comic book, and I do have every issue.
There is also a Doctor Who comic book.
I don't have those.
Yeah, see, Stark agrees. That's before, and their story does pay off. Plus, we get all the stuff with River Song, who is their daughter. That's a strange episode. Good luck explaining that one to a non-Doctor Who fan.
Yeah, that's I believe the first time in television history where a new character introduced. The first episode she's introduced is her last story.
Episode, yeah.
And then it's introducing a character in reverse.
Yeah.
The more you see her, the closer you get to her birth. Literally, her conception.
Yeah. And then her last episode is the first time she meets the Doctor, and his is the last time he meets her.
No,
and it's Peter.
Her last episode is right before she meets the Doctor. No, wait. See, it gets confusing already. But
yep.
Agreed.
So I have a heart. I'm still a monster.
Okay, 50. I think we all know your number one, but
yeah, I think we all know what number one is.
Yeah.
Hakuna Matata.
Yeah.
What a wonderful phrase. Timon and Pumbaa. Something says.
Ain't no dancing, ain't no passing craze. That's what it is.
I know. I was trying to come up with something
like Tanumba, Pomone. What would
Timon.
be their
Pomone.
Or is that what would be their fusion dance name? Pomone? Yeah.
Pomone and Tumba.
Ugh. Tumba just sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger
Tumba.
trying to pronounce tumor.
It's not a Tumba.
It's not a Tumba.
Not a Tumba.
It's not a Tumba.
Also, how
That's like a great way to
hideous
do
would
it.
a warthog meerkat look? That's some awesome stuff.
The meerkat's weighted down by the tusk.
Yeah. I would want a meerkat body with the warthog features as opposed to the other way around. Anyways, so these are characters. Is it a cartoon or something? 50?
Yeah, something like that. but I'm just looking for something up. Hold on, I have
You
a
have
bit
to
of
do
a
research to talk about Lion King.
Yeah.
no. I need time to look this up.
Aww.
Oh.
I'm gonna recreate that right now.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be the meerkat. I thought you were gonna.
No, I have a Simba right now.
There you go. I'm gonna recreate that.
I'm gonna recreate that here. But yeah, Timon and Pumbaa, not only just sidekicks, they were basically Simba's parent figures that he didn't have because his father died. But yeah, they raised Simba to become the lion he grew up to be. They taught him to eat bugs and the moral lessons. And what I really appreciated, some of the stuff they added in the newer version where they kind of had that whole meaningless line of indifference, which is a complete juxtaposition to his father's teachings and philosophy. The entire Hakuna Matata philosophy, in a nutshell, is the polar opposite to what his father was trying to teach him. But so basically, Simba grew up having two different ideals, two different life philosophies, one from his biological father and from his adoptive parents. And he used that to become one of the greatest kings the Pride Land has ever known. And not only that, they came back later to the Pride Lands and they also adopted young Bunga, who kind of is Simba's brother now. Yeah, don't ask. And Bunga is also a great sidekick in and of himself, a great sidekick character to Simba's son Kion and the Lion Guard. So,
I have watched some of the Lion Guard with my daughter. She didn't get into it, but we haven't tried it for a while.
It gets better in the third series.
It wasn't bad. I enjoyed even the little bit I watched. It wasn't bad as far as kids shows go. But there's
because I mean it's the Lion King. It's the Lion King magic. Lion King is just perfect. There's no ruining it.
All right. Sorry. Okay, well that brings an end to our top 5 sidekicks list, and that was actually a good way to end. We had some Doctor Who, we had some Lion King as usual, some Star Wars, some Rick and Morty,
a little bit of Harry Potter,
and the Harry Potter. Yeah, no, we had a great list, and of course Don Quixote, which was completely out of left field, but very appropriate. And Igor, yeah, like there were some great characters on here.
I thought Smithers was out of left field, and then when I came up with Sancho Panza, I was like, all right, if anyone says punt, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yeah. All right, so who has next week's list?
You.
Didn't we say we're going to give it to our guest?
Oh,
I won't be on, but I'll tell you. I'll think about it. I actually had a couple ideas, but now I'm too busy thinking about other stuff right now.
And I do have an idea, but unfortunately I forgot what it was because I didn't realize it was mine next. So hopefully I can remember it before next week because it was a pretty good one.
Yeah, I got nothing because I'm gonna say something that's at the top of my head, and then I'm gonna think of something way better in like 10 minutes.
Hey, that's the best way to do it. Just spontaneously, just say whatever the first thing comes to your mind.
Well, in honoring of our show that we like to do on Let's Talk About Star Wars, it would be cool to do top 5 alien races. But
we did it last week.
That's right, we did last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did alien races?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You did vacations last week.
No, 2 weeks ago.
Oh, 2 weeks ago. Sorry,
Okay.
2 weeks ago.
You already did alien. All right, then. Have you done
How about
slasher like killers? Like slasher
I could easily do that. I don't know about everybody else.
I don't know if I can do that, but let me one up the other one with the alien races. How about we just do planets, alien planets?
I love planets.
Yeah,
Okay.
Just
I won't
not
be on.
anything. Just not anything from real life, not real world.
No. But like
Fictional
Naboo and
I don't know, man. My number one's always Uranus.
and on that note, Taco,
Yes.
thank you very much for joining us. Where can everybody find you when you're not watching your kids?
In 15 minutes, I'll be on Speaking of Schmodown, and I want to eat lunch in that 15 minutes, so I'm going to run. And then at 3 o'clock Central Time, you're going to see me hanging out with Ben, talking about the dungeon on Mount Schmodown here on Schmoes of the North. And then later on, my biggest gap was going to be 8 o'clock, and we'll be Let's Tacoing about Star Wars, where we're doing Plo Koon versus Darth Zana. And besides that, you can usually find me on the Schmoes of the North at least a couple times a week. And if you're into weird, messed up art, I have an Instagram where I'm actually a fine artist, and it's Mark Taco Face, all one word, no caps.
Okay, then. And 50, what about you? Where can everybody find you?
You can find me on my YouTube channel, 50 Shades of Geek. You can also find me on Twitch, 50 Shades of Geek, without the F. I'm doing a series where I'm replaying the old Legos Harry Potter games, and in preparation for a trivia Schmodown, for a trivia Harry Potter match that should have happened this week, but pushed it to later in this month. I'm also building stuff while I'm playing it. All of that is going on my gaming channel, 50 Shades of Gaming, and you can also check out my Patreon. Patreon.com/Pokemon Star, Cross, and Crescent. I'm designing a Pokemon fan game based on...
I saw it.
You ruined my outro!
Sorry.
I'm designing it.
It's Snark's fault.
I was talking to Snark.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm designing a Pokemon fan game based on Israel, the country where I live in. And it's Patreon.
Yeah,
You ruined my outro.
great. The artwork is great. I can't wait to see it finally come to fruition. Ben,
I just added something else on the Patreon.
I saw that. I just haven't had a chance to look at it yet. Ben, what about you? Where can everybody find you?
You can find me right here on this YouTube channel every Tuesday on Shooting the Breeze, every Friday on Recapping the Past, every Saturday right here on Get Ready, also on Saturday. Mount Schmodown, the Schmodown show where we go into players' careers. Like Taco said, we're going into the dungeon today. So that's going to be
Go down to the dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you dicky dudes. I'm not going to be the only person wearing a Smash Cancer shirt, right? Because I got it ready. I'll be wearing it for you.
I'll wear mine if I can find mine, yeah.
Awesome.
Are you going to have Kaiser on, or just talking about the dungeon?
Just talking about the dungeon. We had somebody big lined up, but it fell through.
Boo.
I'm gonna.
They found out I'm going to be on it. They backed out.
Yeah, the sidekick.
Yeah. Hey, it's all right. You're still going to have somebody big on it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We had another somebody big, but we of course have Taco, which is pretty exciting on its own.
Number one in our hearts and number one out of our colons. All right, so you can find me. What, you don't get the squirts when you eat Mexican food? Come on. And you can find me when I'm not in the bathroom, apparently, all over to this channel and a variety of shows that Ben has already mentioned. You can also find me weekly on Schmodown 9 Kando with Taco. You can find me most Saturdays producing Let's Talk About Star Wars. Tonight, I'm not, just because celebrating a friend's birthday. We haven't seen each other in over a year as a group, so no way in hell I was missing that. And also on my personal Instagram and Twitter at soda_the_saxman. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Taco, whenever your wife's out of town, you're always welcome onto the show. And we will see you guys next week for next week's edition of Get Sweaty, when we will be talking about our top 5 alien planets. So don't forget, everyone, stay sweaty.
Stay sweaty.